Okay, and this is another little, Windows application here, and this actually gives you the instructions here on what to do to actually create a Windows Forms application as a CLR type project. So, in addition to my video on the internet, but here's the actual little project that I've created. Now, usually, when I do work on form objects, I like to have it in floating windows. I don't like this having to go back and forth between the toolbars and everything like that. So I usually pin the toolbar open and have the code window or the form window floating. Because I just always like to keep my eye on it. So I can just reach over, click on, double click on something when I want to, assign a variable or something. But like I said, just like that. And again, normally I'd have this over to the side, but because I'm trying to fit it on into this video screen here, God damn it. Fuck, I hate Windows 10. But at any rate, the point is that it's just convenient to be able to click on stuff, to get to function areas, um, in your code. So, well, I'm not really going to cover, this in any kind of detail, because we kind of already covered forms applications and that Lotto thing. But I will scroll through the entirety of the code here. Um, so you can see that, again, these are generally areas you don't screw with, especially down here, but even up there. Um, I still don't like the way that this Windows kind of does this code. I don't like this all being, kind of combined all in one single class or whatever. It just makes for shoddy looking code. It's just hard to keep it organized. I don't like this at all. Um, but it's how it is. Let's see. In region. Okay, so we got void button one click, and it's just application exit. Because I didn't bother naming my functions, but that's the function. I didn't bother renaming my buttons and shit, so it's I often don't, because usually I have them there and I just click on it when I want to find a function. That's how I find functions, is by clicking on buttons. Buttons and you know text boxes and stuff usually. But the thing is that that's actually dangerous in C++ here, because and maybe even in .NET these days in general. But in the old Visual Basic days, I double click on a control, and it always takes me to a defined function, and the only time it would create a new function is if there wasn't one there already. But it will create like a double click event, function. It's hard to get rid of, because once you create those events, it's hard to get rid of, because it creates a listing form up here and everything else. It's a little tricky. I mean, there's probably easier ways to get rid of them but I just hadn't mastered it yet. Because again, I'm not probably going to spend that much time doing Windows development in C++, because again, Microsoft seems to be deprecating the whole thing, and so I'm not sure how much longer C++ code is going to function, written this way. Microsoft's not really keeping up on it. So keeping it up to date and that kind of thing. Anyway, I mean, hopefully that's not the case. I mean, it may not be a big issue, but I wouldn't be surprised, because I already can't run certain programs from years ago on this. So who knows? I mean, hey, it's Microsoft, right? Just like how those error routines, some of my other videos, those error routines, I typed out of that 2003 book, and even the 2013 book, wouldn't work. So in here, but I don't know, maybe they're for a different C compiler. It's possible. Who the fuck knows? But anyway, we got these text boxes and text box click events, double click events, mouse enter, mouse leave. Because the first part of this program, is really just, this is something I got off of a tutor off the internet, off YouTube. So this is just showing you events, because like I said, this is there are so few of these tutors, on programming Windows applications in C++ that aren't MFC, that are forms applications, by people that speak good English. It's unbelievable. There's quite a few of them out there, if you like people that stumble over their English all the time, and boy, that makes an already difficult, to learn subject that much more difficult when somebody's just not speaking concisely and clearly. Um, Stumbling over the words, kind of like this, and then you do this, and it goes right here like so. I mean, I mean, I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying it just makes you pull your hair out. It's just something. Try listening to that for 6 or 8 hours. I mean, it just drives you crazy, and you just can't do it. But anyway, the tutor now from this one guy was one of the few actually clear English tutors that I found out there on trying to learn Windows Forms programming. So the fact of the matter is, it's just really irritating trying to find tutors, and unfortunately this isn't going to be one of them. But this guy's out there. I don't know if I can find, because again, Google Chrome, the bookmarks just kind of suck, and trying to organize them and everything is it's no Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer barely works these days because fucking Microsoft is a bunch of assholes. So, hell. But it's a lot more difficult to organize bookmarks and retrieve them in Chrome. So, because they haven't and probably never will get their shit together on things like that. And I can't even find a decent add-in for it that makes it work like Internet Explorer. Because I always like my bookmarks on the left-hand side. It just makes it so convenient to actually organize things properly. But people don't understand what organization means these days. So, yeah, but I mean, I couldn't tell you because I got just so many freaking bookmarks in here. It would be hard to find that lesson, that guy that did that. But at any rate, the point is that, hell, you can just type this code in, right? Although, the properties might be a bit of an issue. But, we have some functions defined in here and so forth. So, if you guys want to know, I mean, if you're somebody else watching this video besides me watching it, just leave a note and I'll try to find it. I mean, I got it in there somewhere. I'll dig for it, but I'm mostly just making these videos for myself, so and putting them out on the internet on YouTube just to act as a cloud hard drive because I've got shitloads of videos. So, just in the comments section, leave me a note. Hopefully I'll see it. Might take a while though. That's what sucks. The notification system's not very reliable on YouTube, I've noticed. Although sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes I'll go months without knowing I'm getting messages on YouTube. So, I'll look at it almost every day. At any rate, that's kind of what this thing's doing, and so and well, let me run the code so you can run the program so you can see. Okay, so this is the program here, and like I said, it has this little event tracker based on this text box, so it can detect clicks and stuff like that, and it doesn't detect entry of data, but event triggered. Okay, and this is some kind of little flash flash media player demo they had. But expand this thing out, and it just it's a little cheesy converter, converting inches to feet and feet to inches, so it doesn't really do anything, but so I guess it had a little file menu and stuff, but that didn't really do anything either. Here, so it has a file, so you can exit the damn thing, and like 20 or 35, fuck it, hit convert up here instead. So yeah, again, it's a little cheesy program, so it's hardly worth mentioning. But oh shit, I shouldn't have closed that. Damn it. Well, it's no big deal. See, now it's back in the stupid window again. But the point is that like I said, it's just a Windows program. So if this floats your boat, here's some example code. I mean, again, the form does have some properties in it, and that you'd have to kind of look at. So but you can kind of see those properties. That's one of the nice things about how this works, is that I think all the properties are listed up in this "Don't Touch It" section. So I think any property you modify is listed here. So which is kind of cool, because that means in theory, I could just copy. Shit, well, that's wide. But in theory, I could just copy the text of this program and it would create the window from scratch. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've never tried it. But without actually having to define a form, that would be interesting to see if that's possible. But in theory, this has enough data to actually just recreate the whole thing. Since it does list all the properties, the sizes, and everything. So, since it's so specific about it, you would think, that you could not only do that, but maybe manually create your own this way. I mean, hypothetically. But, I'm sure it still had to be a CLR type project, which is what this is. But at any rate, that's enough on that. I'm rambling.